I'm Octane, and you're watching MLG.
All right, Octane. So how did the year go for Rise Nation? You can talk about CWL, XP, just how did it go, and what do you plan to do moving forward?
For Rise throughout the year, it went from an Oregon AW, which wasn't really very well known, like pretty mediocre, placing the champs. I think it was like seventh or eighth, or like what? It was even less than that. But the roster at the beginning of the year, we maintained the same. Like my team has always been, stay together, build, grow as a team. You get the placings, which ironically kind of went backwards. The beginning of the year, we got two first places, South Carolina and Totino's, and then throughout the year, the placings went down. But for Rise, the organization, it's been a huge year. We've expanded into things like Overwatch. We have a Madden player. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, we have, I think, there's a Mortal Kombat player as well. COD team, obviously. All it's for Rise as a whole, it's been a really good year.
Yeah, well, talking about champs, so Splyce. Ultimately, they were the team that did get you in the end. And you guys kind of have a history with Splyce, right? Do you want to dive into that a little bit? What are the problems that you have with that team?
The history of Splyce started at ESWC. They knocked us out. That was before, that was like the first event when slow turn, or not the first, South Carolina's first event, but slow turn was a huge problem in ESWC, so we kind of attributed the loss to that, which I guess is kind of like a crutch for us to say, it was just slow turn, we didn't lose to that. But they were a good team at the time. Obviously, they're not going to beat us if they're a bad team. We match up really well against them. That's one of the series you can play 10 times. It'd be 10 different results. It's just like the European scene as a whole, honestly. It's not just Splyce. Like all the thing that happened with Millennium is kind of unfortunate as well. But I think all the year, like Fabi, I don't even know who's on that team. Like the European scene as a whole, like Splyce is obviously the best team in Europe, like at least in my opinion.
How did you decide to actually go pro Call of Duty, though, versus any of these other games that you play?
I've played Call of Duty probably longer than any pro player, actually. I've played since the first Call of Duty. I played the entire life. And my older brother actually got me hooked on it because I played Halo a lot, too. Halo's a huge part of my childhood as well. Really good at Halo. So I played all the older Call of Duties 1, 2, and 3. And then COD 4 was where, obviously, I think that's where everybody kind of just got addicted to Call of Duty. So I played COD 4. I used to be a YouTube sniper, actually. So I've done every in and out you can possibly do with Call of Duty. I've done editing, graphics, YouTube, competitive, pubs, literally everything you can do for Call of Duty I've done. So as time went on, my friend that I met through sniping, actually, he was going to go to UMG St. Louis in Black Ops 2, and he needed one. And he's my best friend, so why don't you come with me? I'm like, well, I don't do that stuff. Why would I do that? So I convinced my parents to let me go because it was my mom's birthday that weekend, actually. So it was kind of like a birthday present to her. So I was like, let me tag along, go to St. Louis. And I went, and it was the best experience just of my life. Just playing on land, the atmosphere. Of course, I didn't know anything at all at the time. So, just going, I think my first pro team I ever played was Mullet Nation with, I think it was Sharp, Ricky, Nameless, and Saints. I think was the team. I watched Burns win a free-for-all tournament. I'm playing with these people. That's you see, these young-ass, I'm going to compare it to the NBA. You see these young high school basketball players and, look up to these people in the NBA. And then you get to the NBA and you're, staring at them, guarding them. You're like, I know you. It's crazy to me. I've watched Nick. I've watched Jerry. I watched Danny play. I watched Cap. I play all of these people now. I compete with them, and I used to look up to them on this this fanboy level. And it's just what the hell?
COD XP now in the rearview mirror. I know UMG is coming up, but I feel like the main focus has to be Infinite Warfare at this point. What are you guys doing to get ready for that?
Right now, I'm not even worried about Infinite Warfare, to be honest with you. That is in the back burner right now. There's still an event left in this game. It's just because there's another Call of Duty come out, there's still a $100,000 event. So I can't just say forget it, whatever.
You've done it once before as a pro. You've actually switched games and gotten ready for the next COD title. What does that actually entail?
For Black Ops 3, it was literally just everybody preached it and harped on us at the beginning of the game. It was Rise is the team that put the most time in pubs and learned all the nerdy stuff before anybody else. And I think that's honestly is what it is. It's play the game. There's there's nothing you can do that's gonna cement you as a better beginning of the game team more than just playing the game, learning it, ins and outs, intricacies, things like that.